So, hi all, and very warm welcome to all of you to this exciting conversation series of Indian Film Festival of Melbourne Film Club. I've been asked to do this introductory part of this exciting session, which is aptly named as Kheriat Pucho, and we have iconic and a legendary actor today with us to share some of his experiences with us. And I'm very glad and I'm very happy to do this part of mine because I've got personal, he's my personal favorite as well. So I'm Natasha Chaku, and I have attended the festival in the past. I've seen the glam and the glitter it brings to Melbourne City, and it is one of the largest film festival of Southern Hemisphere. So it's very unique festival. So I'll introduce the first speaker. We have Rajiv Masand, and Rajiv is noted film journalist. And if you've been to the film festival, you would have seen him. He's omnipresent in this fest. He is also a jury member and also a great friend of IFM. So welcome, Rajiv.
Thank you.
So coming to the next, my favorite part, which is introducing uh, the um, um, the guest today, Shri Anupam Kherji, who is a mega star of Indian cinema, and he has got a lengthy list of outstanding roles that he had done in last so many decades in over 500 films, including international films. He's a multi-awardee. He's been recipient of Padma Bhushan, Padma Shri, Dalai Lama Award, IFA Award, Filmfare Award. You name it, he has it. He also wears multiple hats. So he's an actor, he's a director, he's a producer, he's a co-founder of an acting school, and he's a former chairman of Film and Television Institute of India and National School of Drama. And there's a boundless evidence that he's not only a soulful actor but also a treasure of a human being, and I have a personal experience with that. He was kind enough to launch my father's book, Kashmir Story, a few years back in Delhi. And we were lucky few years back when he was in Melbourne. The Kashmiri Pandit community got together and invited for him for a breakfast, and which he, accepted. So we really had some really great moments in Melbourne. So welcome, sir. Welcome once again. This time it's a online thing, and it's a new norm that we are adapting to the current situation, the pandemic that we all are facing, because and the border closure, and of course some of us are in lockdown as well in Melbourne. So this is the new norm that we have adopt to. So what I would do is I will pass the baton to director Mitu Bhaumek. She will take over from here. There are you have a you can post your questions if you have any, so keep them handy. And over to you, Mitu. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, welcome to our IFM Film Club session. Very warm welcome to Rajiv, who's such a dear friend of the festival, and we are so grateful for the generosity of time and that the goodwill that you give us. And of course, Mr. Kher, such a huge welcome to you. I might just take 2 minutes to talk about Mr. Kher, just like Natasha said. So, Mr. Kher was my very first boss. When I started my career, I interned in his company. I had just moved from Delhi to Bombay, totally spoiled Delhi brat, living in Bombay on my own. And I used to miss my mother terribly. And this is before we all had mobile phones. And so every time after Mr. Kher would leave, and this, please don't judge me by this incident, I used to sneak into his office and fax my mother these long letters. Then 9 at night, I was staying at YWCA. She used to call me on the phone, and we had to sit by the phone, and then we would discuss the letter. So it was basically just to give her a heads up. And one day, I think by mistake, I left the letter there on his fax machine. And then when I came to work, because Mr. Kher would come later after finishing his shoot and all, the whole office was like, "No, today you're going to get sacked," and all. And there were 2, 3 other producers who used to worked there, who are all producers now, sorry, they were interns with me. And he was like, Aaj to tu jayegi, badi tu itna facts kar rahi hai and all that. And I was just pale because I was like, he's going to fire me. This is so bad. And then after Mr. Kher came, he called me to his room and he said, I know you're missing your home, but remember to take the letters when you leave. So I went to I know you don't remember, I went to the toilet, I had the biggest cry, and I was so happy. And I told my mother, and she was like, I didn't even know you could do this. So,
I remember your good points, but I remember your bad points.
yeah, and then years later, when Parina was born, my daughter, and she was born and she was diagnosed with Down syndrome. And at the start, it was a very confusing time. And I sent a text to Mr. Kher and I told him that she's born and she's got Down syndrome. The very first thing he wrote, which was I think he was the only one, he wrote, "You're blessed. You're so lucky. You don't know how lucky you are." And those words coming from him that time gave me so much strength. So I know that we all know and love him for the actor he is, but I did want to just share this very personal incident because he's such an amazing and remarkable human being. And I think that's why we love you so much. And now I'll just leave you all. I'll mute myself and Natasha. And a very, very warm welcome to you, sir. Very warm welcome to Rajiv and everyone here. And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Meetu. Thank you for giving us a perspective of Anupam as a person. I've known him for many years, and he's been very generous with his time and his patience. And Anupam, we're so lucky that we could have you today because really this is a new way to do a festival. This year has been such a big change for everyone. The pandemic has changed everything. Our lead up to the festival this year is the IFFIM Film Club, and we're talking to the actors and the filmmakers that we love. And we've got some wonderful cinephiles and lovers of your films from across Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia, Thailand, and of course India. So we're so excited. I want to, Anupam, you've had this incredible career. 43 years, Anupam?
39 years.
39 years.
39 years, 43 years since I came to Mumbai.
More than 500 films. You worked in films, on the stage, in television. I want to start by asking you. I read something this morning. I was reading the Hollywood Reporter, and Kate Winslet says because of not working for all these months, not being on a set, she says, I think I've forgotten how to act. I'm terrified. I'm curious to know, Anupam, as someone whose life has been acting for the last 39 years at least. I mean, is that what actors are feeling? Is that what you're feeling? Is there a little bit of sense of insecurity? What's it going to be like when we finally go back and work?
So before I answer that question, I want to thank Meetu, and I want to thank everybody related to International Film Festival of Melbourne, the Film Club. And Meetu, thank you for saying such warm things, and thank you to the Kashmiri community. I had a great time. And by the way, while you people were talking, I was surfing all the people who are on this podcast right now, or this whatever you want to call it, webinar or something like that, and wonderful Indian faces to see. There was a gentleman who was eating. It was nice to see somebody eating. I had my people whom I know, Manish Sundarji, I saw he with this picture and me and him, and then there was another gentleman with had posters of mine. So it's a nice feeling that way. Yes, I totally agree with Kate Winslet, Rajiv. It has never happened in the last 39 years that I have not acted on a single day. Even when I was not shooting, I was doing some acting or the other, either dubbing or something like that. We are starting a film soon, and I did a photo shoot the day before yesterday with Rohan Shrestha, and I actually felt that I can't emote. It's a very insecure feeling as an actor because I feel that हर चीज का रियाज होना चाहिए. Musicians have the luxury of doing the riyaz on their own. Painter can do a riyaz, writer can go into his own zone, but acting on his own means if I'm a student, I can sort of do some exercises. But I did some things related to acting every day. I will pick up a piece and start working on it, but it was not the same thing because it's part of my life. In fact, 39 years is from the time I got work, but I have been acting since I was 16 years old. And now 5 months, nothing, no piece of acting. And how much one can see on series and things like that. That also looks alien. But it's like once you know the cycling, it depends on how you can always ride a cycle. I'm sure once, maybe I will be a little better because I'm now it's my father used to say, when you're competent, you can never be brilliant. So maybe that competency sometimes gives you a possibility of doing mediocre performances. But now I'm going to chew into it once I start working all over again. But first initial few days are going to be different. Also, we will not be in the same circumstances. There will be no hugs, which we are used to when you reach shooting early in the morning. Or bhai kya haal hai, whether it is in India or whether it is abroad. एक चाय पीते हैं, एक चाय पिलाओ, अरे नाश्ता खिलाओ, तेरे हाथ से प्लेट से पराठा खाता हूँ. You will see these familiar faces, but half covered with mask. We do not know whether they are smiling or not. We do not know whether they are feeling affectionate towards you or not. Everybody will be having a sense of caution on the sets. So it will be a new thing, but it will be fun still. Yeah.
Anupam, over the last few years, you've actually divided your time between America and India. You have a Hollywood career. Were you shooting New Amsterdam when the pandemic happened? Because I know you came away when the pandemic happened.
Yes, we were shooting there, and it's so ironical that episode 18th of season 2 of New Amsterdam was called Pandemic. And pandemic had not been announced by that time. And I was the patient. I was the one who gets this virus, and then how every doctor sort of tries to save me. And then we were shooting for episode 19, and this whole thing was declared a pandemic, and there were lockdowns had started happening. We started getting videos of Wuhan, of other places, Italy, and things like that. And we were supposed to complete 22 episodes, but we were shooting in a real hospital, Kings County in Brooklyn, and it was announced that we will not continue shooting any further. It was like a war kind of a situation, and suddenly the war is declared and you have to get back. And we had to cut short our shooting. Then I was staying back for a few more days, and because I've signed on a podcast with iHeartRadio, and I thought I will finish few recordings. Then my friend Anil Kapoor called up. He said, "तू पागल है? जल्दी से flight ले गया. Flights भी बंद हो जाएंगी. पहुंच जाए यहाँ पर, फिर यहाँ से देख लेना." And then I traveled, and that was the last flight which I have traveled on. Last flight of Air India. Yeah, I was shooting at that time. Yeah.
Right. I mean, is there a sense of, I'm guessing there is a sense of uncertainty over how now one will continue to navigate a career, with one foot here, one foot there. I mean, there is work to be finished there, and one would like to continue because the opportunities there have been very exciting and very new, especially for someone who's, who one would imagine has done everything there is to do on this side of the Atlantic, as they say. You from comedy to the negative parts to really juicy character parts to leads. I mean, you played a lead at 28 in your first film role, Saransh. Is there an uncertainty and a sort of sense of adjustment that will one have to rethink the career now that traveling, now that frequent traveling might be a question? I mean, there's a cloud over that.
So uncertainties in life, not necessarily as an actor, but as a person. Uncertainty is, but I have built my career on uncertainties. I came to the city on the 3rd of June, 1981. This is a very dignified, sexy, bald look. But when you are initially balding, when I came to the city, I was 25 years old, or 25. I was half bald, I was thin, I was so thin that I could see through a keyhole with both my eyes, and I wanted to be an actor. So there was an uncertainty whether even I should approach the directors looking like this, that I want to be an actor. I used to reach out to some assistant directors and they will say, आप मेरे को देख के बोलते थे, आप ऐसा करिए, आप assistant director बन जाइए, या आप writer बन जाइए, actor तो आप भूल जाइए. So uncertainty was about there. Uncertainty was about that I had no place to stay beyond a certain point. So I have dealt with uncertainty head on. So that is not something new, but yes, this whole lockdown pandemic has changed the perspective, because this is something you never expected to happen to the whole world. You see famine happening in one place, you see earthquake happening, you see lava coming out, you see this typhoon, etc. happening, but they are area centric. But the world will get affected by it. So I'm not looking at it from an uncertainty point of view. I am an eternal optimist. I'm really an eternal optimist. For me, the ultimate definition of optimism is nothing is all wrong. Even a clock that has stopped running is correct twice a day. So, मेरा तो optimism का मतलब मेरा दूसरा नाम optimistic, because that's how I've dealt with life. Otherwise, ये सब काम होते नहीं, या कुछ भी नहीं होता life में. Failures देखिए, my father at a very young stage told me, failure is an event, never a person. I am certainly, I'm 65, and when 2 years back I went to New York, I looked at life, I said, this is a complete different change. I came here, and in 5 months, what has happened is that my mother fell sick. She had COVID. Then my brother had COVID. His wife and his daughter had COVID. It did give me a different perspective about life. It gave me, there are so many other things in life, but I would like to go and start all over again over there and keep shifting from one place to another. But it has made me a different person. I'm sure it has changed everybody's perspective about life. I'm in fact writing a book on lockdown, which is 60-70% complete. Till my mother fell sick, I had a very different perspective about that book. It was, oh, we will all get together, life will change, and positivity, and etc. And then one day we were taking our mother to an MRI section because she had some problem in her stomach and she was not eating. So we had taken her for her stomach problem. And when she did her MRI, and then she came out, the doctor said she has COVID, which we were not prepared for. She had gotten out of her house for the first time in 106 days. And me and my brother had gone with her. And then I told my brother, look, we have been meeting her. She has been staying with you. While we are here, why don't we also get our this thing done? And we got it done. And he confirmed positive, and I was negative. I felt guilty almost that why am I negative? And then we called his family. So my book perspective also changed. Right. I looked at the people who have COVID and how the world treats them as an outsider, as an outcast, etc., etc. But uncertainty is about life. Uncertainty का तो कुछ भी हो सकता है. Uncertainty तो हर झटके पर है. तो वो मेरे लिए नई चीज नहीं है. That is the joy of coming from a lower middle class. You grow up with uncertainties. You grow up with आज तो अच्छा खाना मिला, कल अच्छा मिलेगा कि नहीं. And it's like life is beautiful syndrome. Yeah, the man tells his son that this is a game happening. We are not in concentration camp. Every lower middle class family plays that game. That this aloo ki sabzi is the best sabzi that has happened to you. This छोटा सा जो मीट आज आपके लिए आया है, this is the best thing that has happened to you. बेटा पूरी दुनिया यही कपड़े पहनते हैं, एक ही लट्ठे के कपड़े पहनते थे मैं और मेरा भाई, ग्रीन एंड व्हाइट चेक्स. हम सोचते थे क्या है, तो फादर यूज्ड से, मदर यूज्ड से, बेटा ये बड़ी खास बात है, दो भाइयों को. तो पूरी जिंदगी अनसर्टेनिटी से के साथ हम उठे हैं. तो इसलिए at a very early stage we were very happy and we were very poor. One day I asked my grandfather, I had the luxury of staying with my grandparents and this joint family. There were 14 people in this small room. And it's only when I shifted my school from a lower, this middle class school and this low, what is that called, primary school, to a middle school, that I went to the posh area of Shimla. And then I saw restaurants there. I saw people dressed up well. And I came back that day home and I said, Dadaji, we are so poor. Why are we so happy? So he gave a fantastic answer. He said, when you are very poor, the cheapest luxury available is happiness. So that I hope that answers your question on uncertainty.
It's actually very inspiring what you say, and you know, it's interesting, Anupam, because you some years ago you created your one-act play, which is called Kuch Bhi Ho Sakta Hai, which also sort of takes off from the same thing, right? I mean, a life of unexpectedness, and it's interesting because last year you wrote your memoir, which is called Lessons That Life Taught Me Unknowingly, which is a beautiful title for a film. Would you say really that that this has been a life where you've sort of taken it a day at a time, and you know, and you could only plan up to a certain point?
Rajiv, in everybody's life, there are millions of कुछ भी हो सकता है moment. हमने कभी सोचा था, मीतू ने जब मेरा ऑफिस ज्वाइन किया था और वो मेरे ऑफिस में काम करती थी, और आज से 20-25 साल बाद, उससे तब से 20-25 साल, राजीव will be doing this seminar kind of a thing, this live session. कभी नहीं सोचा, तो कुछ भी हो सकता है. मैंने कभी सोचा था कि मेलबर्न में बैठे सारे लोग, ये 200 लोग जो बैठे हैं, वो मेरी बातें सुन रहे होंगे, आपके साथ कौन नहीं हो सकता, तो कुछ भी हो सकता है. I keep that option open, and that is a mantra now of my life. So कुछ भी हो सकता है, and then I put my कुछ भी हो सकता है play, which is based on my failures. It's not about my success. It's my life on stage. But I thought, let me do to make it entertaining. Let me make fun of the things that went wrong. So there is a very interesting opening line, which this is a small act. Let me just entertain my guests, if you allow me to do that.
Of course, please.
उसमें शुरू के 2-1.5 पेज हैं कि मेरा जन्म शिमला में हुआ था, एक कश्मीरी ब्राह्मण परिवार में. मेरे माता पिता शादी के बाद कश्मीर से 1953 में शिफ्ट हुए. मतलब कश्मीर से कश्मीरी पंडितों का शिफ्ट होना तब से जारी है. तो शिमला मैटरनिटी हॉस्पिटल का नाम लेडी रीडिंग हॉस्पिटल, रूम नंबर 3. रात के 9 बजे जब रेडियो पर खबरें दी जाती है, ये आकाशवाणी है, अब आप देवकी नंदन पांडे से समाचार सुनिए. मेरा जन्म हुआ वहां. अब जन्म के वक्त मेरे पिताजी आसपास नहीं थे, सिर्फ मेरी माँ थी. अब माँ को तो रहना ही था, वरना मुझे जन्म कौन देता. तो पैदा होने के बाद जब उस अंग्रेज नर्स ने लाकर मुझे मेरी माँ के आंचल में दिया, मेरी माँ ने मुझे देखा, उसकी आंखों में 2 आंसू और मुंह से 2 शब्द निकले, मेरा बिट्टू. इतने में पिताजी भी वहां पहुंच गए. मुझे देखकर उस अंग्रेज नर्स ने मेरी माँ से कहा, मिसिस खेर, इज दिस योर फर्स्ट चाइल्ड? माँ को अंग्रेजी नहीं आती थी. माँ ने पिताजी की तरफ देखा, पिताजी ने थोड़ा अकड़ के जवाब दिया, यस बट व्हाई. अंग्रेज नर्स ने फिर मेरी माँ से कहा, मिसिस खेर, यू आर जस्ट 19, यू विल हैव मेनी मोर चिल्ड्रन. मेरी माँ ने फिर पिताजी की तरफ देखा, पिताजी ने थोड़ा और अकड़ के कहा, यस बट व्हाई. अंग्रेज नर्स ने फिर मेरी माँ से कहा, मिसिस खेर, आई डोंट हैव एनी चाइल्ड, कैन आई प्लीज अडॉप्ट योर सन, प्लीज प्लीज प्लीज, कैन आई प्लीज अडॉप्ट योर सन. माँ ने पिताजी की तरफ देखा, पिताजी अपने प्रोडक्ट की क्वालिटी देखकर दंग रह गए. एक अंग्रेज को गिड़गिड़ाते उन्होंने पहली बार देखा था. मतलब मैं दुनिया में पहले दिन ही डिमांड में आ गया था. So that's how the play goes on. So I always tell myself that I'm always in demand, whether I have work, money or not, but I think I'm always in demand. And then when I wrote the book, Lessons Life Taught Me Unknowingly, you never learn lessons knowingly. Of course, parents tell you, बेटा सच बोलना बहुत जरूरी है, ईमानदारी बहुत जरूरी है, but ये जिंदगी की ठोकरें खाने से ही आदमी को lessons मिलते हैं ना. कि भाई ये लेसन है कि हमने मदर अर्थ का कितना बुरा हाल किया हुआ था. हम ये ह्यूमन बींग्स ने, वी हैड टेकन नेचर, मदर अर्थ फॉर सो मच फॉर ग्रांटेड. जहाँ बिल्डिंग बना दो, चांद पे चले जाओ, मंगल पे चले जाओ, ये कर दो, वो कर दो, एटम बम बना दो, ये बना दो. एक छोटे से वायरस ने हम सबको हमारी औकात दिखा दी. So if we don't learn a lesson from it, then though we will again go through this whole thing. And so that's, I think it's, you live life, that is important. You don't need to exist in life. That's what, in fact, there is a very interesting anecdote about it. You tell me when my answers are becoming longer and just, you can stop.
No, this is gold. Please continue.
So my father, at the age of 84, was very active man. Used to walk 7-8 kilometers, and one day he suddenly fell sick. There was it happens to 1 in 10 million people that the antibiotics that you take, uska reaction ho jata hai, and then the food appears to you sand, and the water becomes acid for you. So basically, you starve to death because you don't eat anything. Some bizarre illness he had. So within 3 months, he became very, very thin, and he was on his way to death. And I had told my brother that whenever he wants something, just call me whenever you feel something. So I was going to David Dhawan's elder son's, Rohit's wedding to Goa. And I reached Goa, about to reach Goa, and I got a call from my brother that my dad is not okay and he wants to say something to you. So we cancelled it. I reached there. My father was lying down in the house, and there was a piece of paper on his chest, a blank piece of paper. And because he had no energy to talk, he had no energy to say words. So he wanted to write something, I don't know, till today I don't know. And he was hiding kind of in this frail body, trying to write something. And it took about 20 minutes for him to write. And it was like an eternity. And then he finished. And then he put the paper on his chest and he told me to pick it up. Now, in his mind, he had written me something and he wanted an answer for that. When I picked up the paper and looked at it, there were no words, there were only lines drawn. Because he had made sentences, but he did not have the energy to put the words. And now he's looking at me for an answer. And I do not know what is written on this piece of paper. So I gave a very generalized answer. I said, yes, of course, Dad, of course, Papa, bilkul, bilkul. He was a little disappointed. Then he called me to his mouth. And I went very close to his mouth. And for a man who was going to die in 20 minutes, his last words to me were, live life. So these are unbelievable lessons. Problem is that we exist in life. We don't live life. If we live life, everybody has, अभी बारिश पड़ रही है यहाँ पर, जहाँ पर मैं इस समय हूँ, अपना जुहू 7th रोड पर. हमने बारिश को भी हवा बना दिया है. एक जमाने जब मैं बॉम्बे में बारिश में आता था, तो I used to look forward to बारिश. अब न्यूज़ बताती है कि बारिश पड़ रही है, तो आप मरने वाले हो. कुछ डूबने वाले हैं, कुछ खतरनाक होने वाले. So I think it's how you look at life. So that's it. Yeah, I don't know what I was supposed to answer, but this is what I.
No, that's lovely. That's one wants to get an insight into how you think, and I want to jog your memory back because I think a lot of the cinephiles here are fans of the work of the acting. I want to jog your memory back to the first film, Anupam. This is the film that sort of introduced you to the world, and I say to the world because it was an incredible performance. And at that time, I would imagine that if it was not, it would have been hard to survive in this business, right? As an outsider, as someone who's 28, who's playing a 65-year-old in Saransh, which was of course in which you played the part of a father who's these are parents who've lost their child in New York in a mugging incident, and all they want is is his mortal remains. I mean, do you remember what that was like, Anupam? Coming to this business with big dreams, and as I would imagine, someone who comes from, from a small town, hoping to, were the initial hopes to be a hero, Anupam? Was it, and did this become the direction that your career took, or were you, or did you know early on that that's not going to happen?
I was a trained actor, so I did not have these stupid illusions about wanting to be hero. I had come to become an actor. I was a gold medalist from drama school, 3 years of that, then 1 year of Indian theatre. So I did not come to Bombay कि अब मैं राकेश श्रेष्ठा से और किसी से फोटो खिंचाता हूँ और फिर प्रोड्यूसर हूँ. I knew that मुझे रोल चाहिए, and हमारे प्रोड्यूसर्स जो थे, ओम पुरी, नसीरुद्दीन शाह, Amrish Puri ji, even though he was not from drama school, but I had discovered that okay, they are theatre actors. In fact, yesterday only I was talking to Anil, and I said Hum Panch had played a very important role. Hum Panch had all these theatre actors, etc. Raj Babbar, Nasir, Dipti Nawal, Shabana Azmi, and Amrish ji. So there was no such things. I knew my limitations. I knew that I am a bald man, thin man, but I knew that I just need one role and I will dig my teeth into it, and then no power can stop me. But to get that role was a difficult process. So when people tell me, "Arey, aapko tension nahi hua ki aap first role mein 28 ki umar mein 65," I feel that I get a little surprised. If I had not done Saransh as my first film, I would have not survived these years I would have not been talking to you. If I had done only Saransh type of movies, even then I would have not been talking to you. So I had no such illusions ki mujhe, of course I would have loved to be Jackie Shroff and Anil Kapoor and Mithun Chakravarti and Sunny Deol and all those things. But मुझे पता था कि आपका कॉन्फिडेंस जो है वो आप अगर अच्छी एक्टिंग करोगे तो लोग आपको ले लेंगे. But kabhi that did not stop me from trying to find cure for baldness. I used to find anything, any tail, any वो आमला मामला जमीन में खोद के उसको दही में डाल के लगा के लोगों के सब कुछ. Because I was made aware of my baldness in this city. Two things I was made aware of. One, that I can't speak in English. Means I could read all kinds of literature, Arthur Miller, Tennessee Williams, Eugene O'Neill, all Russian literature. I could write, but speaking I was not used to. So this is two things that I was made to feel aware कि तेरे को अंग्रेजी नहीं आती, हम तेरी बात क्यों सुने? If you are not fluent in speaking in English, at least in 80s, and you don't have hair, so you are not taken seriously. So I spoke to one of my uncles who was the only graduate in our school, in our family. He said, "Beta, कोई भी language है बोलने से आती है." So I decided that between 4 and 6 in the afternoon, I will only speak in English, whatever may happen. So all my friends used to run away at that time. He said, "आ गया, अभी अंग्रेजी में बर्बाद करेगा." But then I had no qualms about it. And when I heard Saransh's role, I said, "My God, if I am able to do that, this is it. I will be set for the rest of my life." You see, on stage, when you play an old person's role, audience gives you liberty. You can just have to put paint on the head and things like that, and you have to. But on cinema, to be realistic and to be 28 playing 65, so it became obsessive. I started sleeping with that stick, dhoti, kurta. But I knew. But my next film was Jawani. I had no issues about I want to only do Saransh type of roles.
Isn't it true that with Saransh, even though you were so invested in it and were very excited, you almost lost it at the last minute?
Yes,
it was almost taken away from you. Yeah.
Yes, 10 days before the shoot, we were supposed to start shooting of the film on the 1st of January 1984, and 20th of December 1983. A friend of mine, Suhas Khandke, who was my drama school roommate, he came and he said, "Yaar, I have heard a rumor in Rajshri Productions, who were the producers of the film, that you are not doing the main role." I said, "What the hell are you talking about? I'm not doing." Who is? He said, "I have heard, I don't know. I've heard Sanjeev Kumar is doing it." So I had by the time rehearsed for 6 months, etc. We had discussed costumes. Bhatt Saab had just spoken to me the previous day, and we were rehearsing the scenes. So I very, very confidently called up Bhatt Saab from a ration shop of my paying guest accommodation, and I said, "Bhatt Saab, people are mad. They're spreading this rumor that I am not doing main role and Sanjeev Kumar." And he very casually said, "हाँ बेटा वो Sanjeev Kumar ही कर रहे हैं. You do the other old man's role." I was horrified. I said, "What? Are you okay with it?" I said, "हाँ क्या है कि वो ठीक है. The other old man, we will work on it." So then I decided that this city does not deserve me. If I have worked for such a long time, and if Bhatt Saab can do something like this, then I don't want to stay in this city. I must go back to Lucknow or to Delhi or to Shimla and become a permanent teacher. I don't want to be a film actor. But my grandfather used to say that if you are equal with anybody, then if you don't expect anything from anybody, then you are equal. Now I was equal with Mahesh Bhatt. Now I decided that I should go to his house and tell him what I think about him. So I went to his house, took a cab, put my luggage, suitcase, hold all bolte the jo aise lapette the. And went to his 6th floor apartment, and he opened the door. He said, "Oh, fantastic, you are showing sportsman spirit." I said, "Hold on, Bhatt Saab. Come here. I will show you what I'm." So I took him to his window, and I showed him the cab and my luggage on top of it. I said, "I'm going, but before that, I want to tell you, you're the biggest fraud, you're the biggest cheat, and you don't talk about truth. The film is about truth. How can you replace me with Sanjeev Kumar? He may be a great actor, but this role he cannot do as well as I do." Means I was crying, I was horrified, I was very sad, very depressed. And I said, "And मैं एक ब्राह्मण हूँ, मैं आपको श्राप देता हूँ." कि आप कभी भी अच्छी फिल्म नहीं बना सकोगे. And I walked into my cab and then he called me upstairs. He said, "Aja upar." I said, "No, I'm sure." I wanted those things to come out of my hand, you know, those rays of patakas and things like that. Then he went up, I went up, and he called up the Rashtriya production and he said, "Anupam has done a scene right now and he has cursed me, etc. I don't think I will make this film with anybody else but him." And as they say, rest is history. But yeah, I think it's important to say, speak your mind sometimes rather than accept things as they are.
The other time that you spoke your mind was to no less than Robert De Niro while making Silver Linings Playbook. You all were shooting in Philadelphia, I think, and if he had his way, you would have not got that scene that you had to do, which was the big scene, the scene that you were, the scene for which you signed the film, which was the scene with him in the house.
Yeah.
What did it take to stand up to Robert De Niro, who was of course one of your heroes?
No, I worshipped Robert De Niro because in my drama school I did my paper on him, on his Mean Street and Taxi Driver. Means first of all, when I got to know that I'm doing part of Silver Linings Playbook, means fine, Bradley Cooper, fine, David O. Russell, fine, but I have a few scenes with Robert De Niro. So there was this particular scene where the whole cast was there: Jennifer Lawrence, Chris Tucker, Bradley Cooper, me, and Mr. De Niro. And I was waiting for my moment to be with him. And I had taken this rubies Ganesha spent a lot of money on that to be given to him. Means I'm meeting God of acting and I'm taking God of creativity for him in my mind. And we had a scene from the 2:00 shift. So I went there and I, on Twitter, started doing a kind of a poll, which are your favorite Robert De Niro's films? And there were people were writing, etc. At that time, I had about 3 to 4 million followers. So it was a big thing that was happening. And then I told the chief AD, I said, I don't want to meet Mr. De Niro since straight on the sets. I want to meet him before I go on the sets. He said he does not meet. And today is an important scene. He's doing an angry scene. It's not possible. But I pestered him. Finally, he got fed up of me and he went to Mr. De Niro. And after some time, he said, yes, Bob is calling you. Mr. De Niro is called Bob. Bob is calling you. So I took this Ganpati and he was in this huge trailer of his. Now I think in Hindi and when I'm talking in English, I translate it simultaneously in my mind. So it can sometimes go completely wrong. Not the interpretation that I'm wanting to give. So when I gave him this, I had tears in my eyes. So he asked me, everything okay? Now I wanted to tell him basically मैं बहुत खुश हूँ, प्रसन्न हूँ कि आप मुझे मिले हो इतने सालों बाद, मैं आपको ये गणपति दे रहा हूँ. तो मेरे मुंह से अंग्रेजी में लिखा, I am very moved by my own story. So he said, what do you mean moved? I said, no, a small town boy from Shimla, a forest department clerk's son, and today he's standing. What a journey. I did not mean it sound that merry journey they go, but I'm very happy. And I said, I'm doing this quiz on your favorite films of people. So he said, oh, really? What are the films people are talking about? So I said, oh, they are talking about Godfather, this and Raging Bull, etc., etc. So many, all the films I said. He said, there was one film, you know, actors to actors. He said, they're not talking about Awakening. So I said, yeah, some people talked about it. Anyway, he took a picture with me and I had my moment with De Niro. We were just friends now, almost. But when we went to the set, he was vintage De Niro because he was getting angry. I had 3 lines in that 13-page scene. One first page, 8th page, and 11th page. The one line. Simple. So, and he was practicing and he was taking off, he's getting red and things like that. And the whole cast and crew and cameraman and producers are watching the rehearsal. We have to do the rehearsal. And suddenly, while taking off his sweater, he looked at me and he said, to David O. Russell, the director, with his favorite word that he uses, whatever that 4-letter word is. And he said, David, I will tolerate this Indian doctor in my room, in my house. I said, ये क्या बोल रहा है? मतलब मैंने इसको रूबी दिया, रूबी का गणपति दिया, फोटो खिंचाई, इसका क्विज किया, ये क्या बोल रहा है? मैं सही सुन रहा हूँ? So David asked him, I didn't get you, Bob, what do you want? He said, look, because of him, my son was almost arrested and he would have gone back to mental asylum and he got him drunk. So why the fuck will I tolerate him in my house? So Bob, David asked, now everybody is looking at me and him. Bob, so Bob, what do you want? He said, I will throw him out of the house. मैंने कहा ये क्या कर रहा है यार, किस तरह की बातें कर रहा है? तो उसने कहा okay, let's do a rehearsal. तो rehearsal हुई तो मुझे लगा ये बोलेगा मुझे get out. But he held me with my hands, my arm, and he physically, he said, you doctor, and he threw me out of the house and bolted the door from inside. अब मैं बाहर, आधा मेरा face जो है red green paint है because it's a Eagles game. My chest पे S लिखा हुआ है. I am without my shirt or t-shirt. और अक्टूबर की ठंड है फिलाडेल्फिया में और मैं बाहर धक्के खा रहा हूँ और अंदर सीन चल रहा है. 45 मिनट्स बाद ये मुझे बुलाने आए और बोले it's working, but David said, but I need one more rehearsal. This character is with me for the last 3 years in the script, so it will take me time to throw him out. Let's do one more rehearsal. फिर मैं कुछ बोलने लगा फर्स्ट लाइन, उसने फिर पकड़ा यो डॉक्टर यो एंड दरवाजा बंद. अब मैं बाहर सोच रहा हूँ यार, 8 फिल्म फेयर अवार्ड्स, 2 नेशनल अवार्ड्स, 450 फिल्में, बेस्ट एक्टर एंड पद्मश्री एंड अपना एक्टिंग स्कूल चलाता हूँ और मैं बाहर धक्के खा रहा हूँ और कोई मेरे पास आ भी नहीं रहा कि मुझे कंबल उड़ा दे. दरवाजा खुला, सबने बोला we are also late now by 2 hours for the shoot, so everybody is impatient. Okay, Anupam, so you will get in and he will catch hold of you and he will throw you out of the house. तो मेरे को मेरे दादाजी की वो लाइन याद आ गई, if you want to be equal with anybody, don't expect anything from anybody. तो मैंने सोच लिया कि बोलना तो चाहिए जो मेरे मन में. तो मैंने कहा excuse me, I want to say something. Now everybody was saying, oh Anupam, okay, now come on, hurry up. I said no, we have wasted or invested 2 hours. I want everybody to settle down, give me 5 minutes. बैठ गए अब सब लोग. तो मैंने कहा कि there are 8 characters in this scene, so there are 8 interpretations of 8 actors. अब मैं कहना चाहता था कि भाई हमको सबकी सुननी चाहिए, पर मेरे मुंह से अंग्रेजी में निकला, why are we listening to only one interpretation? So there was pin drop silence. लोग मर गए कि ये पागल है, क्या बोल रहा है ये हिंदुस्तान का एक्टर. तो अब चूंकि, और मैं ऐसे बैठा था, मिस्टर डिनीरो यहाँ बैठे थे, ब्रैडली कूपर वहां खड़ा था, जेनिफर लॉरेंस के हाथ में कोई कोक की, और क्रिस टक्कर यहाँ था. तो उसने कहा, what do you want? I said, my character, what is your interpretation? I said, my character will tell Mr. De Niro's character that you, whatever मैंने वो word बोला, you fucker, etc. Your son came to me, I have made him fine. It is because he has the father like you that he needed a psychiatrist in the first place. So, third thing, I have done this film for this scene, I will not get out of this scene. सब मुझे लगा लाइन प्रोड्यूसर मेरी टिकट वापस करा रहा है और ये सब कर रहे हैं. अब उन्होंने कहा कि ओके, सो बॉब को देख रहे हैं सब लोग. बॉब ने कहा ओके फाइन, लेट्स डू वन मोर रिहर्सल. नाउ बाय दिस टाइम एवरीबॉडी हेट्स मी. तो दिस टाइम ही डिड नॉट थ्रू मी फिजिकली, बट ही सेड यू, एंड मैं बैठा था, सीन हो गया. रात को 2:30 बजे करीब वो सेम चीफ एडी मेरे को आके बोलता है, De Niro साहब बुला रहे हैं, बॉब इज कॉलिंग. मैंने कहा मर गया, मुझे डांट पड़ेगी. तो मैं गया तो उसने उनका his backward towards me and he said, what do you want to have? So basically he was making a drink. अब मैं भावुक हो गया था, हिंदुस्तानी भावुक हो गया था. I wanted to say something very dramatic कि भाई आप कमाल हो यार, आपने मुझे वो सीन में. तो मैंने कहा from your hands I don't mind poison also. He turned and gave me a dirty look. He said, I only have vodka. I said, anything, sir. Vodka दी, उसने कहा, I'm sorry, I should have not done that. And that was the ultimate moment of, for me, that what an amazing actor, and grace तो इसी में है ना. Grace तो sorry बोलने में है ना.
Correct.
And that incident made me his friend. So in the last 3 years, every year or the last 3 years, my birthday I've spent with him. अब कितने लोगों को ये नसीब होता है यार. रॉबर्ट डे नीरो और मैं दोनों हम बैठे हुए हैं और वो हैप्पी बर्थडे मुझे बोल रहा है. अभी परसों उसके उनमें उनका मैसेज है कि जी हाउ इज योर मदर, आई बिलीव शी वाज. इट इज लाइक अनरियल थिंग्स फॉर मी. बट और मैं इसमें कोई बहुत कमाल की बात भी महसूस नहीं करता कि मैंने देखो रॉबर्ट डिनीरो को सब. आई एम हम्बल्ड बाय दैट आई कुड से. इट वाज जस्ट दैट एट दैट टाइम आई वाज डेस्परेट टू से थिंग्स. और मेरे वो दादाजी की थैंक्स दैट लाइन कि इफ यू वांट टू बी इक्वल विद एनीबॉडी यू डोंट एक्सपेक्ट दैट फ्रॉम एनीबॉडी.
I'm going to quickly digress. I don't know if you remember, but I was we met, you and I met in a film festival in Doha many years ago, where Silver Linings Playbook was premiering, and De Niro was going to walk the red carpet, and I was told that he doesn't do red carpet interviews, and the only reason he spoke to me on the red carpet was because Anupam told him, this guy is my friend, talk to him. So De Niro spoke to me, and he only said lovely things about Anupam.
And he tweeted.
So thank you. Yeah. I got a lovely picture of all three of us together on the red carpet. That's right.
I remember that. That's why I said कुछ भी हो सकता है.
Correct.
कुछ भी हो सकता है यार. ऐसा ये कुछ भी हो सकता है कि possibility हमेशा खुली रखनी चाहिए. अब मैं before we go further, I want to tell this is marketing now. My website, theanupamkher.com. Me too. Please tell all these people who are there, they should go and watch my play. कुछ भी हो सकता है. I think they have to pay about $3 to $4. It's on my website. और कुछ भी हो सकता है. Okay.
But it's an excellent play. I've seen it at Rang Sharda many years ago, and it's incredible the manner in which one man holds the fort, and really through his own experiences and anecdotes kind of keeps you engrossed in for the period of what is it, a little over an hour, isn't it, Anupam?
No, it's 2 hours 10 minutes.
Wow. It's an incredible piece of work. I want to ask you, Anupam, the two films, I think that a lot of those that love Bollywood distinctly remember and love you in and love the films are Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, and before that Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, and you played in one, you played Shah Rukh's father, which was a great comic role, and in one, of course, you were Madhuri's father. And that's the amazing thing about the career, that you've had all these incredible opportunities to do all kinds of things. And Dilwale was that incredible bond between father and son. The only I would imagine everyone wants a father like that, who says you don't have to study, you failed, chalo, we will celebrate. But the truth is that there was a point early on when you heard the script that you actually didn't want that role, you wanted a different role. Now, do you sometimes think that had you actually got the other role that you wanted, I mean, things might have turned out differently because you got so much love for the role that you did play, didn't you?
I think hats off to Adi Chopra's gut level feeling, because I wanted Amrish Puri's role. Lengthwise, I felt that was a bigger role. Lengthwise, मुझे लगा कि यार ये तो बड़ा interesting role है. Or I did not see the possibility what we can bring in with Shah Rukh and my father and son characterization. So I told Adi, I said, Adi, I would like to do Puri Sahab's role. He said, nahi, aap meri baat sun lo. It is a different kind of a role, and that role only he can do that. And both the times Amrish ji has beaten me to this. One was this, and also I had done an audition and I was finalized for Mr. India. And he was finalized, and I always thank that. Otherwise, आपको ये रंज रहता है कि तकलीफ होती है मेरे को. But both the roles, thank God, Mr. Amrish Puri did that. He did a splendid job. But when we started shooting for Dilwale, it was magic, because I based the character on my father, who had celebrated my failure, and there were scenes like that. Because once in 9th standard, you had to bring this report card to your father, and you have to make your parents sign the report card. I think, I don't know, all of you have done that or not. Correct. So my mother was very strict and my father was very lenient. So I took my report card to my father, and my father saw the report card and he said, 59th? Your rank is 59th? I said, yes. He said, how many students? I said, in your class? I said, 60. I said, अभी मुझे डांट पड़ेगी, मार पड़ेगी, थप्पड़ पड़ेगा या लेक्चर मिलेगा. He took a pause and he said, क्या है ना बेटा, जो फर्स्ट आता है ना, चाहे स्पोर्ट्स में चाहे पढ़ाई में, उसको हमेशा टेंशन रहती है कि उसको फर्स्ट आना है. अगर उसके 97.7% मार्क्स हैं और उसके 97.2% भी आते हैं तो भी उसको टेंशन होता है. लेकिन जो 59th आता है ना, वो कभी भी 48th आ सकता है, 37th आ सकता है, 29th आ सकता है, 18th आ सकता है. तो एक काम करना, नेक्स्ट टाइम 48th आ जाना. So that took away the fear of failure out of my life. And then we had this famous scene. I requested Mr. Chopra कि ये जो फोटोग्राफ लगे हैं मेरे फादर की, मतलब मेरे उस कैरेक्टर के फादर की, शाहरुख के दादा की, परदादा की, चाचा जी की, ताया जी की, I said, can you give them names which my my uncles are, because all my uncles were 7th standard fail. One of my uncle was 7th, he failed in 8th standard 7 times. He was promoted to 9th standard on compassionate grounds. Because his class fellows started calling him uncle. So in my introduction, and also that Popi, Koka, Chuchi, Lola, Shah Rukh is a great co-actor to work with. He comes up with improvisations. He's not stuck. He lets you. So we had a great, we had a great chemistry between us. So I said, ये ब्रिजनाथ जी हैं जो 7वीं में 8 बार फेल हुए, द्वारकानाथ जी हैं जो 11वीं में 2 बार फेल हुए. I actually took the names of my uncles, and then all the other scenes that we did, we had great time. And when the film was about to release, we saw the preview, and I suddenly realized, oh shit, I have my real uncle's names in this film, and they are going to get very upset. So I wrote to all of them, and I said, sorry, मेरी एक फिल्म आ रही है दिल वाले दुल्हनिया ले जाएंगे, उसमें मैंने आप लोगों के नाम लिए हैं, वो बहुत ज्यादा कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री मामला नहीं है. After the film got released, all of them wrote to me, said, thank you यार, तूने हमको world famous कर दिया. So I think that's the kind of family I get. But yes, the bonding, everybody, he says, thinks that we want Mr. Kher jaisa father in my real life. So that was the cult status that character got. And I don't think I would have been able to pull off Amrish ji's character, because you needed this strict, I don't feel the emotion of anger that easily. But even हम आपके हैं कौन, सूरज बरजातिया gave me a 4-hour narration, 4 hour with music, trolley shots, गाने सब ये, and I was mesmerized by the conviction of Suraj Bajatiya. Story, if you see, story starts only in the end when Renuka Shane falls down.
That's right. That's right.
But his purity of his characters was so amazing that that I think the cinema of late 80s and 90s had a lot of innocence. I feel so. I think I meet a lot of people. जी वो वाली बात नहीं, जी वो वाली बात नहीं. हालांकि हम हर phase में बोलते हैं वो वाली बात नहीं है. But they were make-believe stories. They were stories where we wanted to be like the characters of the film. You know. And उसके बाद हम आपके यहाँ बात करें तो उसके जैसी शादी होती है, हमेशा शादियों की पूरी प्रथा हिंदुस्तान में, वर्ल्ड में चेंज कर दी. इवन मेलबर्न में भी जो शादियां होती हैं वो वैसे ही करते होंगे जैसे उस फिल्म में हुई थी. Yeah.
Right. Anupam, in a career spanning sort of, all these years and over 500 films, there have been the hits, there have been the flops. I would imagine that there were roles that you worked very hard on that perhaps because the film didn't get the love that you hoped it would. Is there one role or one film that you feel deserves more love than it should have got? Perhaps because of the work that you put in, or perhaps because you felt like you were really able to realize what was on the page and perhaps bring more to it. But what's the one that you feel deserves more love than it got?
Oh, the lot of films which I thought were okay, they got more love. Because
Correct.
People were generous. It is not because films were so bad. People were much more generous in their praise. People were much more, they were not cynical. They went to cinema to have fun. They went to cinema to enjoy. There were not many sources of entertainment. Today you have, your mobile is an entertainment. Today this webinar is an entertainment. Today there are thousands of things. There are 90 channels. There is malls. There are shopping complexes. So people used to basically go to watch and like a film. Unless पहले 15 मिनट बर्दाश्त करते थे, आधा घंटा, फिर उसके बाद बोलते थे मारो मारो इनको. तो मेरे को बहुत सारी फिल्मों में बहुत प्यार मिला है. It's difficult to sort of say that film which I did not. I like my work unless I'm really very bad, like I was in Nigahein, Harmesh Malhotra's film, which I thought was which got me confused because the distributor of the film Nigahein, which was a part 2 of Nagina,
correct,
Rishi Kapoor and Sridevi, and then they decided to make part 2 with me, अमरीश जी. उसमें पहले वाले में उनकी डेथ हो गई थी, तो मुझे लगा कि मैं अमरीश जी का नामो निशान मिटा दूंगा, मैं इतनी अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस दूंगा. तो मैंने सारे सीन्स में जान डाल दी और शूटिंग से मतलब रिलीज से 7-8 दिन पहले द डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर पूरन चंद्र राव saw the film and he sent me a bottle of Blue Label. I had never had Blue Label in my life, and he sent me a bottle with saying you are the greatest sir. So मेरा दिमाग खराब हो गया, मुझे लगा you are the greatest तो मतलब मैंने तो कुछ कमाल किया होगा फिल्म में। तो मैंने गलती से यश चोपड़ा जी को और रेखा जी को जो मेरे साथ शूटिंग कर रही थी और यश जी की वाइफ को और किरण को कहा कि चलो तुमको एक क्लासिक दिखाता हूँ, ब्लू लेबल बीच में इंटरवल में पिलाता हूँ। मैंने कभी जिंदगी में नहीं पी थी। तो हम चले गए फिल्मालिया स्टूडियो में और यश जी ने पैम ने कहा कि चंगी फिल्म है। मैंने कहा पैम जी ब्लू लेबल आई है इसको देखने के बाद। पूरन चंद्र राव इज सच ए वेल नोन डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर। पिक्चर शुरू हो गई तो पहले सीन में, अच्छा किरण ने मेरी बाजू पकड़ी हुई थी ना पिक्चर बड़ी लविंगली, तो पहला सीन जब शुरू हुआ तो उसने अपना हाथ हटा लिया। तो दैट वाज अ साइन कि कहीं कुछ गड़बड़ है और मुझे लगा मैंने कुछ जरूरत से ज्यादा आवाज में बात की, ओ मैं कर दूंगा जय भैरव एक्सेट्रा। जब दूसरा सीन आया वो पहले से भी ज्यादा बम्बास्टिक था, तो पैम जोर से बोलती है यश जी को, डार्लिंग मेरी तबीयत खराब हो रही है। और किरण उठ के थर्ड सीट पे जाके बैठ गई। गेम में डर्टी लुक्स की, ये क्या किया तूने, ये क्या कर रहा है। फोर्थ सीन में जब आया तो रेखा जी कहती है अनुपम आई हैव एन अर्ली मॉर्निंग शूटिंग, कैन आई गो। मैंने कहा ये क्या हो रहा है। और बाय द टाइम फिफ्थ सीन आया मैं भगवान से प्रार्थना कर रहा हूँ कि ऑडिटोरियम में सांप आ जाए या भूचाल आ जाए या मतलब ऑपरेटर को हार्ट अटैक हो जाए, ये पिक्चर रुक जाए। So these are the kind of emotions one has gone through. You can sometimes feel that I have done great job and it's not a great job. Sometimes we have not put much effort and people say it's very good. When I did Hasina Maan Jayegi, there was nothing on the script. Means there was no script.
Correct.
But on the spot we made it. So it happens. Keep it. As long as you don't take yourself seriously, Rajiv, the idea is to have fun in life. I don't take myself seriously because मेरे से पहले बहुत सारे एक्टर्स आए हैं जिन्होंने कमाल के काम किए हैं, बहुत सारे मेरे बाद आएंगे। I don't want to be sort of to me journey is much more important than destination. I'm having fun. I'm having fun chatting with you. I'm having fun. Fred smiling at me. I'm having fun. Karthik smiling at me. Sonia Parmar smiling. These are amazing. Sunny Duggal ji हंस रहे हैं। इससे बड़ी अच्छी और बात क्या बचा। मेरा मनीष सुंदर जी ने पोस्टर लगाया हुआ है, तो ये इससे ये लोगों को अगर आप खुश कर सको, यू नो, तो दिस इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग। दैट्स व्हाट इज इम्पोर्टेंट। पुनीत, गुलाटी, टोनी, सारे जड़े बैठे ने थे, मजेदार लोग हैं।
Those are wise words to live by. I'm going to get a few fans in. They have questions. Sonia Parmar, if we can unmute Sonia, so Sonia can ask her question to Mr. Kher.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Sonia. I just wanted to say it's a big privilege being here and I'm over the moon happy right now. I wanted to say that I really love and respect your work and the positivity and purity you carry as a person. The question I have is that I know that you've done a lot of work in theatre and you do have your own acting schools. Would you consider opening an acting school in Melbourne anytime in the future?
Well, that's always a possibility, Sonia. I would love to have a school in every city, anywhere in the world. But this pandemic and this lockdown has taught us also to do online classes. You can be sitting there. We run a lot of online classes now in India. You can, if you, I'm sure, have acting genes in you, or you want to be an actor or something like that. I can feel that. Okay, you dance in your functions at your people's parties and something like that, and you can do classes till Meetu invites me to open an acting school in Melbourne. But you're most welcome to do the online class from India. We can work out the timing. This is the perfect, and join it, and you can do that. Okay.
Thank you, Sonia. Hopefully this is going to lead to big and exciting things. Can we unmute Kauthar Abdullalan, please? Kauthar has a question.
Hi, Anupam sir. Thank you so much for all of the insights you've shared today. Your words have been quite uplifting. I just wanted to ask you with regards to what you spoke about when it comes to being an equal, with your peers. I wanted to see if I could pick your brain and perhaps get some advice about what or how you would suggest new filmmakers or directors who are working with more experienced actors, how can they, I guess, manage the complex dynamics on set?
Can you simplify that question, please?
So when you have a new director who isn't as experienced and they're working with much more experienced actors or even other crew members,
Right.
How can they sort of manage those relationships on set?
I don't think you need to manage. The problem is that because you want to manage, you will not be able to do your job. If you are sure of what you are making, this is the way you want. I'm the one actor who has worked maximum with first-time directors. Whether it is Karan Johar, whether it's Aditya Chopra, whether it is Neeraj Pandey, whether it is Ayan Mukherjee, whether it is so many new, but they knew, and I was a veteran kind of an actor working, but they knew their job so well, so they used to listen to me, but they said that this is how I conceived it. Managing people's ego and managing people's experience is not your job. Your job is to direct them. And get angry, get upset, but be also very, very polite and very, it's a people management. But you don't have to sort of go out of your way just because they are seniors. I learn a lot from newcomers. One of the biggest achievement is my school, and one of the biggest reason I have opened for selfish reason, because when I go and teach, I learn so much from these young people. These veterans who show you attitude, they are basically insecure. An actual person who knows his job will never make a newcomer feel insecure. So just do your job and be ready to answer all their questions. Don't manage them, direct them.
Thank you. Thank you, Kauthar, for your question. If we can unmute Tony, please. Tony has a question. If we can unmute Tony.
Anupamji, we could listen to you for hours. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you, Tony.
I've been very fortunate. I saw your play twice and I could see it again and again. Excellent. My question is, how far are we from creative independence and no rope-toke to tell the story the way we want to say? Especially in India, even though we have progressed so much, there are so many reasons people just start to oppose if any good film comes out. It makes life so difficult for a director to tell the story the way it should be said.
I don't think directors should work according to what the audience want. If that is the reason you are making, then you're in a business where you're doing a business. You're not making what you want to make. Of course, you are making the film for the audience. You have to keep the entertainment. Any film which is engrossing, people will accept it. Any film which tells a story, at the end of it, according to me, I don't know what Rajiv thinks, at the end of it, every film is about storytelling. If your story is engaging, then even if you're spending 10 rupees or 10 million rupees, if it is engaging, it will do. That's why small budget films do. We worry too much about what people think. At the end of it, it's only 5-6 people which are around you, whose opinions matter. I'm not talking about whether film is doing well or not doing well, whether it's a hit or a flop. But 5-6 लोग ही होने चाहिए आपकी लाइफ में जिनकी opinion आप matter करती. We are unfortunately living in a world where we are constantly made to feel that somebody is doing better than us. वो जो एक ad आती थी ना बहुत पहले कि मेरी कमीज आपकी कमीज से ज़्यादा सफेद है. We have started applying that in our real life. Because मेरे पास 500 followers हैं, तेरे पास 600 followers हैं, मैं क्या करूँ? मेरे को 200 likes मिले मेरे Twitter पर, तेरे को 300 मिले. So we have started living life on the level of what social media decides. To me, according to me, originality is about that you should be comfortable in who you are. Now, this is also a question that you've asked. We can go on and on about it. But don't try and please everybody. Just do what you want, what you believe in. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. If we can have Manoj Sukrani, please. Manoj Sukrani has a question. If we can unmute him, please.
Thank you, Rajiv. Anupam sir, lovely to hear from you. And we met at IFA Awards in Bangkok. I hope you remember.
Yeah.
And my question to you is, sir, if you can please answer, what is the character that has stayed with you and your favorite character, abhi tak, and why?
So it's difficult to decide because I feel that I've only reached the interval of my life. I can answer that question maybe after 25 years in a better manner. Then I'll say, okay, now I will think about it. But there are films like, of course, if you take out the Saransh, the first film, it will always remain. Films like Daddy, film like Maine Gandhi Ko Nahi Mara, films like Hotel Mumbai. But at the same time, film like Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge or Shola or Shabnam and things like that. But Maine Gandhi Ko Nahi Mara was difficult because I was playing an Alzheimer's patient and I had no idea how Alzheimer's patient is played. So I did a little extra research on it. It was good also and it was bad also because every time now I forget anything, I feel that, oh, in that book, page number 37, line number 20 said that if you forget, sit down, don't have water or something like that. But yeah, there are some, I'm lucky to name a lot of films that I have enjoyed. But I have also enjoyed my shittiest, horrible, worst films also because it was making me get out of my house, put on makeup and meet people. So I'm very proud of all those films also.
Thank you. Thank you, Manoj. Shivangi Bhaumik, if we can please unmute Shivangi Bhaumik.
Hi, sir.
Hi, Shivani.
Belated happy 35th anniversary.
Thank you.
I've been following your Instagram page for a while, so I just wanted to quickly say this. I just really appreciate the videos that you post, the vivid simplicity with which you have put your emotions into words. They've got this healing power that's really helped me personally through some very devastating times. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And my question is that you've done a number of international projects. I've mentioned US, British, etc. Any chance of an Australian project in the pipeline?
I did Hotel Mumbai, was an Australian project.
Oh, yes.
Yes, but I would love to. I think you should all of you should get together and put some money and invite me in a small budget film which will go big. Of course, kuch bhi ho sakta hai. I would love to. Thank you. Are you an actress?
Aspiring, one can dream. Kuch bhi ho sakta, right?
Of course, you should not stop dreaming. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shivangi. Thank you. If we can unmute Indira Lesram, please. Indira has a question.
Hi, Anupam ji. I just wanted to ask you, you have these years of acting, accolades, experiences behind you. Would you say that you have a very different approach to acting today than before?
Yeah, I think you need to have a different approach towards life. And because if you're growing up as a person, your approach changes. Your understanding of life changes. Your maturity of understanding situation changes. But as far as I think acting is about doing, not about thinking. You can be thinking about anything as long as you are able to project what you are supposed to project. That's important. Whether you use, I don't necessarily go by this, method acting, Brechtian theory, Grotowski theory. My director used to say, your job is to show what you're feeling and let audience decide whether you've done a good job or not. But yes, over a period of time, I now make my job more difficult because I feel that, as I said earlier, that if you're competent, you can never be brilliant. So sometimes you become lazy and you say, okay, let me just sort of do it. I will not go wrong. But now I pick up a film, I really make my job difficult. No, I'm not very easily satisfied. Let me try it again. Let me do it different way. Let me make it more sincere. So I think sincerity towards the approach is more important than the craft. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Indira. If we can get Neeraj Nanda, please. Neeraj Nanda, if we can unmute him, please.
Anupam ji, namaskar. My question is that how well you are adjusted with watching movies on streaming services, which all of us do these days, and I see around 30 to 40 movies every month. And what would happen in the post-pandemic? I mean, the cinema halls. What will happen to them, because we are now adjusted in a different situation?
I don't see so many movies. I do some work here and there also in between. So I don't see so many movies. You're lucky to be able to see all these movies. I like to see some documentaries, some series, some movies also. I think it will take a little time before we actually start feeling comfortable in cinema halls. It will take time to all those places where the audience, where there will be more people. But the cinema, the magic of cinema will come back. वो हो ही नहीं सकता, because going to cinema is an event. You don't go to cinema because it's a majburi. It's like a family event. It's an event. You go and book a ticket, then you stand in a line, then you buy samosas and popcorns, depending on which country are you watching. Then you tell your family, you spend a certain, it's like a picnic. So that will not go away. And it's also important, Neeraj, for you to get out of the house and walk towards till the cinema hall and decide, because घर में बैठे बैठे क्या है कि आपके घर वाले भी आपको डिस्टर्ब करते होंगे, फिर आप पॉज करते होंगे, फिर आप सोचते होंगे, फिर आप आगे बढ़ते होंगे. And something that you don't pay for, you never respect that. Something you pay for, you always have a respect, because when you're paying for a cinema hall ticket, you're also respecting the cinema, but you're also respecting yourself. So that is what is important. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Nandita, please. Nandita Chakraborty.
Hi, Anupamji.
Nandita, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for so many laughters. Really loving it. My question is, it's very personal, but how did you bribe your mother, Dulari ji, to get her on your videos? Because I'm an avid fan of yours on Instagram.
No, she does not know that she is so... she's the only person in the world who is completely unaware of camera. I worked with best of the directors, best of the actors. She is not self-conscious about the camera at all. And it's something about every mother being original, every mother being so normal. So I just started shooting her one day and posted it in the initial stages of Dulari Rocks. And people started loving it, not because she was being funny, but because people started identifying with their grandmothers and mothers, and how forthright mothers are, how they, for their children, however old they are, they can scold them. My mother is, I think, she gets very irritated sometimes. She said, "Tu kya karta hai? Main mandir jati hu." This is before lockdown. मेरे पास लोग आते हैं फोटो खिंचाने के लिए, मैं सब्जी खरीद रही होती हूँ, क्यों फोटो खिंचाते हैं मेरे साथ, पागल हैं क्या ये लोग, और गले लगना चाहते हैं, हम आपको गले लगाना चाहते हैं. No, that's not possible now. But I think it is, I'm happy that I initially started putting it as fun, and it also helped me raise, suddenly I decided that I discovered that my followers are increasing whenever I put Dulari's videos. But also one thing that has happened is that people, even if it's 3%, 10%, 20%, people have started noticing their parents a little more than they used to do that. Thanks to this pandemic, thanks to the lockdown, and also because of these videos. Because there is so much of richness that these our parents have. That वो है ना डायलॉग कि रिश्ते में हमारे बाप हैं, माँ हैं, तो I wish, but yeah, sometimes when she fell sick, she said, "तुम मेरे वीडियो मत डाला कर, मुझे नजर लग गई." So, but I put that also. Yes.
Thank you, Nandita. We have only time for 2 more questions. Neeru Saluja, if we could unmute Neeru Saluja, please.
Hello, Anupam ji. It's been a pleasure listening to you, and it's bringing back memories when I talked to you before the Astor Awards and met you in person.
I remember you. Hi, how are you?
Good. Thanks for remembering. You were... Anupamji, you wear multiple hats and have worked in India and internationally. What platform brings your creative best?
I don't think it depends on the platform. It depends on my personal desire to give my best. Initially, out of 515 films, there were times when I was not so excited. Then I cut down on my work. But whatever I do now, I'm very excited about it. I'm one of those actors who has worked on OTT platforms, who has worked on television, who has worked on stage, who has worked on cinema. You are good, so you will be good in all the platforms. If you're bad, you will be bad in all the platforms. It depends on what kind of sincerity you bring to yourself. At the end of it, you need to be sincere and you need to work hard. There is no alternate to hard work and sincerity in any field of life. Forget about acting, but in any field of life. And retain your originality. I always believe that you are an original person, and that's why there is nobody else in the world who has your fingerprints. We just lose our originality over a period of time to something else. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Neetu. We have one last question, and this is from Deepa Avtani. If we can please unmute Deepa Avtani, please.
Thank you, Rajiv. Hi, Mr. Anupam Kherji. How are you doing?
Nice doing. ऐसा लग रहा है आप चांद पे जाने वाली हैं आपका ये तो बड़ा.
Just being prepared in COVID times. What else can we do, isn't it? So, firstly, I'm Deepa Avtani from Biscuit Showtime. I wanted to congratulate you on your Institute Actor Prepares as it's celebrating 15 glorious years this year. My question was, since COVID has offered so many radical solutions in our life routine, how can an actor prepare? Like, what inspirations can they keep picking while they're not leaving their real life to be in the real life in front of the camera?
You see, actors depend a lot on imagination, on observation, and emotional memory. These are the three tools an actor uses. And he will never be without these three tools, even if he is on the moon. His imagination can take him to any place. His observation in today's time about nature, you can see a Walt Disney created Disney World looking at a mouse. You understand? And third is emotional memory, that what you go through in life, you bring back and you use that in performances. And also it depends on what is your mental attitude towards life. If you're a person who does not want to get bogged down by the system or by the world around you, you will always learn something. And even if you don't learn something, that unlearning is also learning something. So that's how you are talking to an eternal optimist. I said to you earlier also, Rajiv, that I will always have a solution. That does not mean that I don't feel depressed, that I don't feel low, I don't feel sad. I feel all those things. But then there is no way, when you hit the rock bottom, the only place you can go is up. So you can, as an actor, find so many things.
That's actually very valuable words, especially for a time like this. That's a great coping mechanism, actually, to sort of understand that you're right. I mean, the only way to look is positively, because how else do you deal with these times?
Thank you so much, Rajiv.
Thank you.
And to Meetu also.
Thank you, Anupam. Thank you. One has spoken to you so many times, and you're still able to kind of, engross us with such lovely stories and really with lessons that are so valuable. Thank you. And hopefully we'll see you at the festival in Melbourne, hopefully next year, as soon as you can make it. But I'm going to let Neetu say thank you on behalf of the festival. Thank you.
I also want to, before Meetu says, I want to thank everybody who joined us this afternoon. Thank you so much. You people have been wonderful, and I could feel your love and your great vibrations towards me. Thank you. Keep it on.
Thank you so much, Anupam ji, and hope to see you in Melbourne soon. And
yes.
Hope to meet you in person as well.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. And like you said, thank you to everybody who joined us. And this episode will also be on Rajiv's YouTube channel, and our IFM channel is YouTube channel as well. So if you want to see yourself again, Mr. Kher,
all those things. Send me a link and I will make it.
That'll be great. And I'll also send a link of Mr. Kher's play to everyone, so you can watch it again. And Mr. Kher, thank you so much. You know I love you, so I don't have to say it again, but thank you so much.
Everybody, I wish I could see her and say hello to her, your daughter.
Yes, I know. I've kind of locked everyone, my husband and daughter, outside, but hopefully you'll see them in person when you are here next. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rajiv. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you.